Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day. This is your boy Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and today the topic of choice, well, this proof set right here, it's a 1968 proof set. One set like this sold on Heritage Auctions during their signature sale this past week, sold for over $16,000. And we're going to dive right in and see what exactly pushed it to the brink of utter financial madness. Keep in mind, this is a really inexpensive set on its own. You guys have probably seen this a million times over. You've probably seen these in estate lots and just various lots of proof coin sets and whatnot. And yeah, this set right here, it's a similar set to this one, sold for probably enough money to buy a new car in this day and age. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and dive right in to see exactly what made this an expensive sale this past week. So stay tuned.
All right, so I figure before we get too in-depth on the 1968 proof set, it helps to know exactly how much these proof sets are selling for as they sit in their original government packaging. Okay, typically these will come in that blue sleeve like you saw at the beginning of the video. It's a five coin set, so you would have pennies to $50. Okay, you won't have anything else extra in the set, and they all seem to fall in that kind of $8 to $10 range. As with any other proof set of this era, okay, we got to keep in mind from 65 and 66, which are both special mint sets. There wasn't an actual official proof set released during that time, but they did have an SMS, kind of like a special strike finish that looks and appears like a proof. Those coins do indeed hold a 40% candy $50, okay, which seems to be the kind of like the value part of these sets. In 68 or 67 is also another SMS, by the way. So 68, 69, and 70 will be all genuine proof finish coins with the mirrored fields and the well, you might get them with a little frost. The set that I showed you at the beginning of the video had a nice frosty Jefferson nickel, which on its own, it's not worth a terrible ton of money. So with that being said, we're going to transition over to the coins that are sold. But first and foremost, the coins that are being talked about on this video are all graded by PCGS. So here's the Lincoln cent out of the whole swath of 5 coins. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the numerical grade, you know, what drives the value to get it up to $16,800. But really what it really comes down to is that all the value is poured into one coin, and it's going to be talked about at the end of the video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at each coin individually, starting with the Lincoln cent. In this case, this is the probably the most eye-appealing coin out of the 5, but it doesn't equate to a lot of value. This particular example of from the proof set is a PCGS Proof 67 full red and cameo. Okay, so for those of you that aren't too familiar with this kind of like this generation of special mint sets or proof sets, it's really difficult to find coins with any sort of frosty finish on the devices of these coins. So to find one example with a cameo finish is it's a real treasure hunt. You know, I did have that Jefferson nickel that had the nice frost on the obverse. The reverse wasn't that great. Through the graders, you would need a good deal of frost on not only the obverse but the reverse of the coin. It can't be 50-50. They don't grade it in that fashion. If one side has frost and the other side does not, they will not grade it cameo. So with this particular coin, it's a nice acceptable, grade. Okay, it's nothing that's gonna shatter, records or anything like that. A proof 67 seems to be kind of like that typical numerical grade that you would expect for this coin. So with that being said, and it's not a deep cameo or an ultra cameo, it just has a light cameo finish, but it was enough for the graders to designate cameo as opposed to nothing at all. The coin in itself is probably worth about $25 to $30. It's not a whole lot of money, therefore it did not drive the complete value of this 1968 proof set. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the next coin. All right, and that's going to be the Jefferson nickel. All right, so this coin right here is kind of, it's not fantastic by any means, especially when it doesn't have any of the cameo contrast. The absence of the frosting makes these proof coins of the 1960s kind of blah. Okay, if you looked at it, all of the devices and the fields are mirrored. Okay, they reflect really well to highlight. And in some cases, for those people that actually, roll hunt nickels and pennies and things like that, you could almost replicate the finish of these coins if you were to highly polish the coins, a business strike coin, to make it look like a proof. Okay, I've seen them pretty close, but the colors just aren't the same, and you also see the buffer marks and the wheel marks and the hairlines that are exhibited on those coins. But the undesirability of a non-cameo or non-deep cameo coin cannot be understated. These coins don't have a very good secondary market. This one right here is a PCGS Proof 66, as you can see on the label. It's not something that's going to sell for many hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. This right here is what I would call to be kind of that bargain bin $5 to $10 coin in the slab label. Okay, if you were going to encapsulate this one yourself as a standalone piece, you would have wasted money, because the submission costs with the shipping of like $25, $30 would not even be close to what the value of this coin is. Therefore, it does not figure in to the $16,800 price tag for the set. All right, so the next coin that we have on the list is going to be this 1968S Proof Washington Quarter. Okay, keep in mind, this one is a PCGS Proof 65, and that is it. Much like the coin that preceded it, this one doesn't have a whole lot of personality. You don't have any frosty finish anywhere on the details of the coin. Again, same difference. Okay, the big X factor on this one, however, is the grade. Okay, it's only a 65. This one has a myriad of problems. The spots that you see on the coin are kind of typical for this range of date of proof sets. Okay, the quality was not fantastic. The materials used to produce the holders and things of that nature are pretty subpar. So that's why you get things like this, where you have a lot of some of that material dust that has stayed on the coin and have spotted the coin. Therefore, you have a coin that theoretically was net graded by the graders. This is probably a 66 coin, but because it has those spots on there, they deduct a point, essentially. So without question, this coin does not figure into the overall value of the $16,800 in which this sold for. But you will see throughout the first three coins, there is an attribute on every single one of them that every coin in this proof set is supposed to have. Okay, so it'll play a huge difference in the final coin on the list. So the next coin I wanted to talk about in this particular sale is going to be the 68S Candy half dollar. Now keep in mind, this is a very desirable coin for the mere fact that it does have a little bit of silver in there. The coin all on its own typically sells for about $3.50 to $5, depending on who you ask, the way it sits. Okay, now this coin right here is a PCGS Proof 67. It's a nice grade, okay, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, this seems to be the average grade for these coins, specifically the candy half dollars. These again were produced with a little bit of quality control. So even though the materials and things don't quite lend itself to high quality in the set altogether compared to today's standards, it's just pretty much a foregone conclusion that a lot of these coins will grade out between that proof 66 to 68. Okay, the only thing missing on this coin that would make it extraordinary would be the cameo frosting, okay, which is nil on this particular example right here. And because of that, you have a coin that's worth about $15 to $20 in its stated grade. So taking a look at the first four coins, okay, before I jump into what really drove the value of this, taking a look at the first four coins, if you were to sell the Lincoln cent, the Jefferson nickel, the Washington quarter, and the candy half dollar as a combined group, it's worth approximately $50. Okay, not even close to making up the $16,800. So for those of you that stuck around and didn't know that this coin even existed, here we go. We have the 1968, in this case, no S Roosevelt dime. Okay, this is one of the marquee varieties that people look for when they go through these proof sets. It was undeniably a mistake that the S mint mark was completely missing on this coin. Call it over polishing or just the mint mark was not added to the master hub. Whatever reason that the U.S. Mint has placed on why this coin does not have a mint mark is what really drives the value. Now, they caught this early. Only a small handful of these are known to exist. Less than 10 examples are out in the marketplace of this coin, and they're all very expensive. This one right here drove the value about 99.9% of that $16,800. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the fine details of this no S Roosevelt dime. This one is a PCGS Proof 66 example, all right, which is a nice kind of medium grade. I think there's been a few examples that have graded out a little bit higher than that, at like a 67. Typically with the no S Roosevelts of 1968, you're not going to find any with any cameo. Okay, there hasn't been, I believe, an example with a cameo designation on there, which at this given juncture, it's fine, okay, because you have a very rare and valuable coin that's worth in excess of 5 figures, close to that $20,000 mark in some cases. So right here, this is the coin that you're going to be looking for as you're going through proof sets from 1968. Another one to look for is the 1975, which is the gold standard of missing mint mark proof coins. Okay, you're going to want to try and also look for the 1975 no S Roosevelts, which sell for many hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, but in this case, the 68S is a little bit more attainable. Okay, there's a few more examples out there above and beyond the 75. So there's rumored to be somewhere in that 10 to 15 example range of this coin. Okay, so there are some others, I firmly believe, that do exist in proof sets that have been socked away in collections, or perhaps someone had posted one on eBay and nobody has attempted to locate one. But, you know, there are cherry pickers that are continuously looking for this. It really all depends on, you know, how frequently you're on eBay or on some other sale sites looking for this coin. This is the big one out of the bunch. And this is what you're going to have to keep an eye out for, okay? Sales have ranged, again, in that $15,000 to $20,000 range, you know, for grades across 66 and 67. It's easy money to be made off of a proof set that, you know, at the beginning of the broadcast sells for $8 to $10 all day long. And you might even be able to get a kind of a discount if you bought multiples of that proof set. So definitely check out some of your old stock, your old collections, maybe something that's been inherited down to you. Oftentimes these will pop up in coins that haven't quite hit the marketplace yet. You know, this is a phenomenal coin. Okay, it's life-changing money, one in which that will make any any treasure hunter that does come across this one coin, absolutely, it's going to change lives. It's a lot of money. So I want to thank you guys for joining in on Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'm your host, Sean. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I wanted to talk about this one all week because this is a phenomenal sale on a really, really wonderful chase piece. This is a real coin, guys, that can be found out there. And I'm not joking, okay? You can't coin roll hunt this, but you could certainly go and look out for some of those old proof sets that people have socked away and just totally forgotten because they've thought that these things are worthless. In a way, they can be, but they can be worth a lot more. 5 figures strong. You guys take care, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.